Yes. All right. So this is my first real ride on the MT-07. Aside from just bringing it home from the dealership. It's been kind of cold in Indiana, so we haven't had the luxury of riding. And today is the only warm day of the week, so we're gonna take advantage of it. And some of you guys might know that I started on a TU250, little Suzuki. It was a lot of fun. It was a cute little bike, but I've made the jump up to an MT-07, which is about 700cc, just a little under. And I can tell it's definitely a more substantial bike, but I don't feel like it's unmanageable. I think it's really comfortable. The height is a little bigger, a little bit more off the ground than what I'm used to, but I'm about 5'7", so I can still tippy-toe on the ground. So it's really comfortable. Now we can talk a little bit about this torque. First time I got on it was at the dealership and was in the parking lot, and I heard about the torque on other videos and everything, but I really was not ready for all that power. Again, though, it wasn't unmanageable. I survived. All right. Also, something else that I noticed was the sound. It sounds so good. It's just got this nice rumble compared to anything I'm used to. The little TU250 just had this like little zippy sound to it. It was really cute. But yeah, I feel like I'm on a grown-up bike now, and I love it. It handles really, really nicely, and I can't wait to wear it out this summer. Okay, so my husband and I were looking for an upgrade bike for me, and the first thing I test drove was a Ducati Monster 797. It was a 2019, but I don't think it had ever been owned by anybody before. It was just something the dealership had. Well, I test drove that and I loved it, and I knew I was ready for a bigger bike. But the new Monsters are out, and I was super intrigued to see what they would look like, but I'm a little saddened that they don't have the classic trellis design. That's something I fell in love with on the Monsters to begin with. But I've heard that the handling is really, really nice because it's a lot lighter now, and it's a little sportier. It's got a lot of upgrades on it, and probably would have been a great first over 250cc bike to have. But in our research, Ben came across the MT-07, and we started looking at it, and we knew there were some upgrades coming and some new designs coming for 2021. So I started looking at it, waiting for it to come to the US because it wasn't here yet. We were told that it would probably be February or March. We got to see some of the videos from people in the UK, from Italy, and the more I watched it, the more I fell in love with it. And I decided that I'd found my new bike. I contacted one of the local dealerships, and they said they anticipated getting a few of them in, and if I was interested, I could leave a deposit and they would hold one for me. So I definitely jumped on it, asked them if they could hold this particular model for me because I just love the fluorescent orangish red wheels, It's, you know, the storm fluo is what they call it. And they had a blue one coming in and probably a black one, but I think that was all they were getting. Weeks went by, and I contacted them to see if there was any word on the bike, and they said it was still a couple weeks out. And then I got a text that said my bike was shipping and it should be within the next 5 business days. Well, I called again, and they said that they got it, but there was, you know, slight damage to it. So I was a little alarmed by that, and they said that the parts would come in the following week. And the following week came and went, and I finally emailed the guy I was dealing with, and I said, is there any way for me to get the deposit back? I think I want to go somewhere else. And he said, why don't you come in and take a look at it first? And I got to the dealership. Essentially, this bike only had a teeny tiny little nick on it, and he asked if I was okay with it, and I was like, yeah. So what happened was, the blue bike that they got, the crate for that bike was crushed, so they had to replace the fender and the seat, and those parts were not going to be in for a while. And I told them that that wasn't even the bike I was interested in, and so luckily I got there in time before they sold this one out from under me. Okay, so yeah, when I went there to see the bikes, it was the blue bike that had the damage because the crate got crushed, and luckily my bike just had the tiny little nick on it, and you can't even see it. I wouldn't have even noticed it if they hadn't have pointed it out. So naturally I was all over it. I said, yes, I definitely want the bike. And about 2 days later, I finally got all of my ducks in a row, got my payoff for my other bike, and got all the information that I needed. And because of COVID, they're doing everything virtually now, so I didn't have to sit in the office. Once I got there, everything was ready. And I went and picked it up, and I've been dying to ride it ever since. Aside from just getting it home, I haven't even had a chance to get on it. So I'm super happy about having it and getting to ride it today. Yeah. I always get nervous when I have to do something that's so contrived. So if you like this video, if you want to see more of me on the MT-07 and some of our rides together, and see the beautiful Ducati Cafe Racer that's ahead of me in most of our rides, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications,